So before we get into our technical services enhancements, I did want to bring you over to the Bywater website. In the Bywater website, you will see our 1611 upgrade webinar schedule. This is going to show you some other times that we will be having other module upgrade webinars. So if you had more staff members that you'd like to have attend, or if there were some webinars that you wanted to attend, we have multiple time periods in the next couple weeks when these will be covered. We had our OPAC webinar earlier this week, but once again, next week we have a 2 o'clock and a 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So lots of times that we have for each of the modules, as you can see here, the public user service upgrade. Then we have also our circulation and patron upgrade webinars. Technical services, so if there is somebody else that needs to attend, there's multiple times throughout the day in the next few weeks. Also, next week, we'll start our administration tools and reports webinars. And then something new we're doing this time is we're going to have some town hall sessions. And in these town hall sessions, we will cover our specific libraries and how these enhancements are going to affect different libraries, such as consortiums, and the special libraries like law libraries. We'll also have a town hall for public libraries as well as academic libraries. All this information can be found on our website, and you can go ahead and click to register. But I did want to say thank you to everyone for attending. If you are not able to make any of these other webinars, or there's one that you are interested in, Friday afternoon we will be uploading the videos from the week onto our website. So it is something you can view later. I did want to let you know that there is a chat box that's available to ask questions, as well as a Q&A box. I do encourage you to use the Q&A box because that allows us to track the questions that are asked, and we can always get that answered to you at a later date if we're not able to help you at this time. So with no further ado, we'll jump right into our staff client to show you some of our new enhancements. A lot of the enhancements on the technical services side, I would say, are just some streamlined, making things look a little bit more consistent throughout Koha, as well as helping your workflow with less clicks. I want to show you some of the catalog enhancements that has been improved with the new 1611 upgrade. Oh, I apologize. I did want to say that you will be getting news on when your library is going to be upgraded, hopefully by the end of this week, which is today, because we will be upgrading libraries starting in April. So we're going to go over actually to our administration fields. And as we look at our the MARC bibliographic framework, we have now added these as action buttons. So before it was a little different. So now instead you actually have these action buttons in the MARC framework. So if we go ahead and click MARC framework in the default framework, you can see instead of it saying subfields in a column, edit and delete, they have now become an action button. So you can go right to subfields, edit or delete. Now, these action buttons are something that are found throughout Koha, so it's just something that we'll get accustomed to see it. If we click over to the subfields, now once again, new action buttons. You can go right to edit or delete here versus that clickable link that was there. This is exactly the same as it was before. Another thing to show you is that when you are in the default, you can search for a tag here up in this. So this is a searchable field, as well as showing the subfield. You can search specifically for that subfield and go straight to that versus what it would have you just search the actual number. So this automatically brings me right to the 952D when I use that search field. So this search the tag works with subfields as well.
Kelly?
Yes.
Quick question. The buttons are more attractive. Is the shift to buttons mean some type of more consistent navigation for keyboard user, or is it just for appearance purposes?
I would say it's a little bit of both. But I guess it would be a user's decision what worked better for them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now I'm going to show you some changes in the staging mark records. When we stage mark records for imports, we now have a new look for existing records in the catalog to include the OCLC control number, which is the 035. So I'm going to go ahead and get a file to stage. I'm going to go ahead and upload that. And then under here where it says look for existing records in the catalog, there is now, in addition to the ISBN, the 020, and the ISSN, the 022, we can look for an OCLC number. This is something that people, when they bring their records over from OCLC, this number is something that they like to be able to find and not duplicate a record into their system. So this is a great new feature. So that is right here. This is nothing you need to turn on. It's right there for you. Looking into the Z39 search page, there's a new link there for you. So we'll go over there. This is a new link to clear your search form. So prior to that, it would you could fill in this information and it would stay there. And now with this click, it would delete everything, especially if you've added quite a few fields here. This is just an ease of workflow. So this new clear search form has been added. As well as we're going to go ahead and search for a book, and there is some new action buttons on the Z39 field as well.
Kelly?
Yes.
Andrea has a question.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to know if there are any plans to offer other match points like eBrary numbers.
Oh, on what I showed prior to importing records?
Yes.
Not that I know of, but I can certainly find out for you, and that would be eBrary numbers. Can you find out what field that is, Adam, for me?
I can. Another question, are there any long-term plans to make a Z3950 type search out of the online catalog?
And would that be specific to their library online catalog, like Overdrive or eBrary?
I don't know. It's an anonymous.
eBrary fields. Well, I can certainly find out for you.
Okay.
Z39. Electronic books.
It would be to search another catalog via Z3950 as a public user.
Oh, I see. And so that would be more on the OPAC side, I would think?
Yes, public user.
I haven't heard of that, but we can certainly find out for you. Thank you for the question.
One more, is the 001 field as a matching point still there or not?
Go over there. I don't see it, but I can't imagine it's gone away. Maybe it's something you can put in or take away. Let's see.
Jason says those are set under record matching rules under catalog on the right side of the main administration page.
So record matching. Thank you, Jason. What else is record?
George also says in the administrative module, there's a way to create new matching rules. So he thinks that 001 can be added.
Okay, great. Thanks, George.
And I have Victoria's name written down so we can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And there's one more question. Yeah. Leslie wants to know, and this is back to the Z3950, what the symbol in the ISBN field is.
Oh, sorry, this is a program I have on my computer. It thinks it wants to fill it in for me. So that's not something you'll see on your computer. I apologize.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. I think it's LastPass. Okay, so let's do a book. I'll go ahead and search that. So here you can see that there is a little bit different, the view is a little different. So there is, instead of it being all, I think it's more clear here, the mark, the card, and the import versus what it looked like before. So this mark is a little bit more clearer to click that import. And then you would do the same process. Okay, so another cleaner look for us. Another area that has been cleaned up is now through the managed stage mark records. You can delete in that and clean at the same, there's the same choice. So I'll show you what that looks like. In staged mark record management, this action clean is here, but then there's also the action of being able to delete the batch. So in addition to clean, you can now delete, and this is a new action button area. Going back over to the system preferences, there is a way to add the ISSN for a match in the cataloging module when you're importing records, and that is to use to match ISSN with or without hyphens. And I'll show you where you would go for that. So here, the aggressive match on ISSN is you can attempt or do not attempt, and that includes hyphens on or hyphens off, without hyphens or with hyphens. because a lot of those ISSN numbers do come with hyphens in your records. Okay, I'm going to pop over to the OPAC, and I did want to show you that there are now, when your patron is on the OPAC, when they search an authority record and there is nothing in that authority, it's no longer clickable. So before it was, you could click it, but however, there was no records that matched that authority record. So now if they search an authority record and there's nothing that's there, there's no more click. So I'll show you how that looks. So here you can see that, well, actually, let's do this. I'll show you what it looks like if there is something clickable. And there's nothing clickable in Army. Or Navy. So as you can see, there's one record here with this education data processing, and so it will have a link that I can click to find that record. However, if there is not a biblio in your system that has that authority record, then that link will not be searched, cannot be searched. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Another new enhancement is now if you allow suggestions through the OPAC, that you can now pick and choose which mandatory fields you want your patrons to fill out. And I feel like this is, although this is more of an OPAC enhancement, I do want to say that I know in the past with purchase suggestions, if there's not enough information, the person that's placing the orders, which would be acquisitions, may order the wrong record if there's not enough information given to them through the suggestion. So I'm going to show you where you can pick those mandatory fields. And that is a system preference under OPAC. Suggestion. So right here, OPAC suggestion mandatory fields. So then you can pick which would you want required. So if you wanted more than the title, you wanted the title and the author, you can select those, and that would help through the acquisitions module ordering the right material for your patrons. Even maybe making the ISBN. Okay, another new enhancement is having a YouTube streaming video on a record. So this is really big one. So I'll show you what that looks like. We'll first go over to the system preferences that you need to add, as well as there needs to be the link in the 856 subfield U. So you would put a YouTube link in the 856 subfield U for your video, and then you would go over to your system preferences. And this is HTML5. Oh, let's save those. I love that feature. It doesn't let you go anywhere if you have done something in your system preferences. So right here, HTML5, media YouTube, you can embed this or not embed this. As well as here, show a tab for the media player for files cataloged in the 856, and you can do that in both the OPAC and the staff client. You can say not at all. You can just do it in the OPAC, or you can do it in the staff clients. So let's show you what that looks like. Oh, I did want to mention, I don't think I mentioned this yesterday, up here, although it's kind of non-technical services, but if you go up to the search, now there is a drop-down menu that you can do that advanced search or items. You can pick advanced search or item search. Prior to this enhancements, the item search was right here. So now you can choose when you go into that search. It's my favorite place to search. Maybe we don't have it. I know it's there. Okay, well let's create one. That will be fun. Let's go over to our YouTube channel. And this is a great place to show you that we have videos on our YouTube.
My name is Jessie, and I'm one of the educators here at
you can see that we have lots of videos. A lot of these have the new enhancements, short videos from anywhere from 2 minutes to 8 minutes telling you about some of the new enhancements as well as some of the other features with the other Koha upgrades that are still relevant to the current Koha. So let's see. See, there is this YouTube streaming catalog in Koha. So I'm going to take this link here from the YouTube, and I'm going to put it on a book. Not that book. Let's see if we have a Hunger Games in our catalog. Yep, there we go. I'm going to edit the record. I was changing it from Lost, just in case that was hidden from the catalog. I'm going to go to the 856U. I'm going to go ahead and save that. This is so cool. Okay, now we're going to go over to the OPAC. Well, I'll show it to you first in the staff client. Here it is, the Play Media button. Let's see.
Hello.
There you go. So that's the staff side if you had that activated and enabled. We'll go over to the OPAC. And here is the link to Play Media.
Hello.
So there you go. That's pretty cool. So if you wanted to put any YouTube videos attached to any of your items, then you would just go into the system preferences and enable whether you wanted your patrons to see it on the OPAC and your staff to see it or one or the other. And then you just make sure that you put that in the 856U. And that Play Media will show up on your OPAC as well as on your staff clients. Any questions? That's a pretty cool enhancement.
Kelly, we have a couple questions.
Sure.
George would like to know if there's a way to control the default size of the media player.
You can make it bigger here. So he's asking if this is too large for.
He's asking if we can control the default. Right.
Okay. I'm not sure, George. That's a good question. It looks like at this point it's set for this size, and then the the patron can make it bigger with this button, as well as it looks like they can download it as well. So I'll write down default.
I've got it.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
One more question from Ruth. She wants to know if you can add more than one video.
Oh, good question. Well, let's try.
Hello.
Another video. I'm going to edit the mark record. I'm going to go back to my 856. It does give me an option to put multiple 856 views in with this button. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that new YouTube video in and save it. Now it looks like it went away. The play media is gone. So let's refresh this. If you put multiple, the play media is not there anymore. So you can only put one at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That's a great question. It's good to know for us. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to take out one so I don't possibly do anything wrong. I'll take out both because we don't need those links. Okay. So now we're going to pop over to course reserves. And I'm sure that some of you guys do course reserves for your in your department. And this is just another pretty enhancement, as well as it is including a few more columns in the course reserve table. And this is a paid development.
Kelly, real quickly, we have another question on the videos.
Sure.
Can you add a separate 856 for the other video?
As opposed to the U? Let us try. You guys are asking great questions.
Yeah, really good questions.
Okay, so we're going to go back to edit the record. So I would have to put that under a subfield. The U is where you would put the video. I don't believe maybe you could put it under. Do they have an idea of which subfield they'd like to try to put it under?
She's asking if you can add a separate 856.
Oh,
like
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put it there. And then we'll get another video.
A YouTube video.
The YouTube video. Copy. And we'll put it in the other 856. We're going to go ahead and save that. I like how your brains think, guys. Thanks. Play media is there now, and that is with two separate 856 fields. And they do show on the staff side. Do you see that? Let's see. Play.
Hello, my name is Nicole, and
That looks good.
hello.
That looks good. I'm going to refresh this OPAC screen. Play media is there, and they're both there. So yes, to answer your question, thank you very much for your help in that. You can put two different videos if you do two separate 856U fields. Okay. Okay, let's go back over to course reserves. So we have added, this development has added the author column to the reserves table, as well as a link column, which is also another 856U field. As well as you can see this on the staff side, and you can see this on the OPAC. So we go over to the OPAC and pick that course. You can now see that there wasn't an author column prior to this, as well as this link is something new as well. Okay, if there's no questions, we'll go over to our subscriptions, our serials. This is the ability to define the item type and change the item type of older issues to receive the next issue. So when you receive a new issue, the issue number is automatically copied into the 995V field, and then the previous copy is changed from not for loan to available. And that is a system preference, and I'll show you where you can find that. So once again, that does change the previous copy when you receive a new one to making it not for loan to available, as well as change the issue number.
Kelly, we have a quick course reserve question.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Andrea.
Yeah.
She wants to know, does the course reserve link go to the item record or to an online source?
To an online source.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is a new system. This is a system preference: make previous serial available. So you can either make it or do not make previous serial automatically available when receiving a new serial issue.
Kelly, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Andrea has a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Does that link get embedded in the item record itself, or is it an 856 field?
That is an 856.
Okay,
field.
well, welcome everyone.
So
it is an 856 field. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So here is the prisoner of birth. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's look. Nope, I misspoke. Let me just double check. I apologize. That is in the item record. I apologize. Let me show it to you now. It's in the item record. Oops. You can see that here in the URL. Here. And that's in the U on the item record. So if you had a course reserve that had something additional to it, that you could add that to the item for the course reserves and have that be seen on the course reserve tab in the OPAC. Okay, so we were in the administration. So this system preference would make the previous serial available when you receive the new serial. So that is a new system preference. And that also comes into play with that item level system preference as well. In serials, there's some action buttons that they've added, just like in cataloging. If you go into the manage frequencies, you can see now this is an action column and you can have the edit and the delete over here. So that's something new.
Kelly?
Yes.
Jenny Schmidt would like to know if you could show that in action.
Which one? The receiving the issue?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, let's try. Let's go for it. Oops.
Yes, the last serial issue.
Thank you. Okay, so I have my make previous serial available, and my item level I type is to a specific item. Let's do this. Let me make sure. I'm just making sure that this subscription makes an issue, creates an item record. Okay, good. No, I don't know if I have a previous one though on this. Let's see. Okay. It's not this one because there's no items. So I guess we should have, this is actually a book, but it looks like this is where the periodical went. So this is the subscription, although it says it's a book. I guess I should have looked to see if it wasn't available before I went through that process. So I apologize. It is showing, the previous month is showing available. I don't have it set up as a not for loan. I'm sorry, I don't have a good example because I don't think mine were set up for not for loan prior to that. I can certainly get some information for you and get it to you. Is that okay?
Jenny says, sure, I'll write down that for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, and then there's just one more thing in serials, and that's those action buttons that if you're in managing frequencies, you have, these are now buttons versus the blue hyperlinks here in the frequencies, as well as the manage numbering patterns. That is, those are action buttons as well.
Kelly, George has a suggestion, and I'll read it out loud, and then I'll write this down as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
He said that doing a YouTube video of the make previous available process would be a good addition to our YouTube library.
Thank you, George. I probably will be assigned that one. Thanks, Adam. Another item in serials is the ability to edit the catalog and items in the serials toolbar. And this is also a paid development. So I'll show you that. If I go into the subscription, I can edit the record, and I can edit the item without having to go, a few extra steps of going there. So from here, that I can edit the record or the item from the subscription tab. So this will bring me right to my mark. There's the OPAC view here, but if I went to edit items, it would bring me to the actual edit the item. As well as edit the record. It'll bring me right into the record. A few new enhancements with in acquisitions, that there is now the ability to edit the invoice number after you've saved it that first time. So if you did put it in the wrong way, or you wanted to change the invoice number to a packing slip number, you could do that in the when you're in the invoice itself. So I'll go ahead and show you that. Oops, sorry, wrong one. So I can go ahead and go into this invoice that's still open, and I can go ahead and change this number if I needed to, if for whatever reason I either put it in wrong or I did want to change it, and go ahead and save it, and it will go ahead and modify that invoice number. Going into the budgets, this is a new enhancement that you can actually, once you're in a budget, you can duplicate the budget for the next year. And in that duplication process, you can change the description, as well as you're allowed now to change the amounts by a percentage or a dollar amount. So in our wildest dreams, we're getting a 10% increase in our library budget for the next year. We could go ahead and do the 10% chart change, or say we were given $500,000 more, we could go ahead and do that. So all those funds will be duplicated, and that will make it easier for us. Another enhancement is that if we had baskets that were standing order baskets, we can go ahead and receive one item in that basket. However, the standing order stays the same.
Kelly?
Yep.
Jenny would like to know, are there any instructions out there for any type of fiscal close?
Oh, good question.
No worries if not, she's just curious.
I have no idea, but I can certainly find out for you. It may be something that we should make a video about. I appreciate that. I think all the help that anyone can get it'd probably be helpful in any of the modules. We appreciate the feedback, and we love making the videos.
Okay, one more question from Ping. When changing an invoice number, does she have to reopen the file?
Nope, you saw me, I was in there, I changed the invoice number and I hit save. That was it.
Okay, that's what she's asking.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Oops, we're gonna go into back into acquisitions. So I went ahead and this is a standing order where it says orders are standing, and this is yes. So my order itself was these 4 items, and then I went ahead and received Our Strange Land here. However, it continues to stay in my standing order basket. So these items have not changed. As well as this used to say, I believe, print, and now this basket can be downloaded as a CSV. This is a new action button. And the last thing that that I have today is the new Edifact. We can now integrate Edifact ordering into the acquisition module. This is a new enhancement with the 1611 Koha. So you are, to make Edifact, you would get your brief records from your vendor and import those as usual. However, once that order was received, then the Edifact will come in and overlay the information. This is an added cost per vendor if your library does want to use Edifact, and it is a $500 setup fee per vendor. Right now we have 4 vendors that we're working with, and that is Baker & Taylor, Ingram, Midwest Tape, and Playaway. And this $500 fee is just one time to set up that plugin and allow this to work through your Koha system. If there is not a vendor on this list that you, if your vendor is not on that list, you can certainly contact us and we'll work with your vendor to see if we can make that happen for your Edifact functionality. And that's all I have today for our technical services through acquisitions and cataloging serials upgrade notes for the new Koha. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We have about 10 minutes, so plenty of time. I'd be happy to show anything else if you had any questions. I do want to say thank you for coming.